All right, Shalom. First and foremost, want to begin this lesson by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah, Wahar Rakha Quadas, which in the ancient Hebrew tongue would be the correct names of the Heavenly Father, His beloved Son, and the Holy Spirit. Also want to give double honors to my teachers, the head apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom, much due honors and respect to the sincere brethren out there that's laboring in his work and in doing so exalting the names of Yahweh Yahweh Shah. So yeah, this lesson right here is going to be pretty much inspired by a video I was watching, a very powerful exhortation from the elder brother Yashawamba, which his channel is GMS Sharmoth. And it was a very impactful video, one of the most impactful videos I've seen, in the fact that it was pretty much a spiritual pep talk from Yahweh Shah, all right, concerning the fact that we are to polish up, our inward man, fortify our mind, and prepare ourselves mentally for the times that we coming into, because the times that's approaching is going to be such a time that can be rivaled with any other time in history, pursuant to the book of Daniel, the 12th chapter, in the first verse. And unless your mind is prepared, your mind is right, then you're pretty much going to fall apart. It doesn't matter how much, you went out on the highways and byways, you threw on a garment, you posted videos during the week, which is nothing wrong with that, because in doing those things, you pretty much qualify yourself for hope, all right? Hope for salvation. But those things will not profit you if you're not preparing mentally. Why? Because when all hell began to break loose here on the soils of America and pretty much throughout the world, then you're going to fall apart. All right? So this is the ultimate mental game, man, that we're involved in. And if you don't have your mind right, if you're not preparing mentally, then you're going to be affected by the things that's going to take place here on the planet Earth, because although the elect is going to be exempt from the judgment of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah, we pretty much going to be thrust in the midst of this chaos that's about to take place, man. And it tells you that in the book of Acts, the 14th chapter, in the 22nd verse, through much tribulation, we shall enter into the kingdom. It's not like we're going to be standing on a damn balcony, watching all hell break loose, from below. No, we're going to be affected by that transition that's happening, the whole landscape of America and the change that's about to take place. That's going to affect you brothers. When this chip is made mandatory, guess what? That's going to affect your job. You're going to have to walk away from that job, paying your car note and your car insurance. So the moral of the story is what? You can't be attached to this world. You can't have any type of attachment, emotional attachments, to your mother and your kids, whatever sentimental values that you hold fast to. You got to cast those things off, man, and prepare yourself mentally for what we're about to come into. And guess what? That's going to be one of the main attributes of the elect, all right? So the first scripture I got is 2nd Ezra, the 2nd chapter, and starting at the 38th verse. It says, "Arise up and stand. Behold the number of those that be sealed in the feast of the Lord." Yeah, and that's dealing with the elect. All right, there's a certain number of spirits that's actually sealed and counted worthy to see the salvation of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah. All right, verse 39, "Which are departed from the shadow of the world and have received glorious garments of the Lord." Yeah, and how have they departed from the shadows of the world? Mentally, man. All right? They have polished up the inward man. These would be men whose outlook on the things to come and their affections is set upon the things above. They're not attached or invested into the things of this world. That's what it means to depart from the shadow of the world, man, which is the valley of the shadow of death, which is right here in America and pretty much all throughout the world, because the ideas, the philosophy of America has spread throughout the world. You know, that golden cup, that wine that have been pushed on the world. But pretty much that's the valley of the shadow of death. And when you consider the idea of that shadow, you know, it symbolizes a couple of things. For one, a shadow is temporal, man. You know, when you look at your shadow, it's very unstable and fickle at best. Meaning you could see your shadow one minute, you turn your head and it's gone. So why would you be invested and attached to a shadow, something that's temporal, man? There's nothing permanent about a shadow. And another reason why that shadow symbolizes America is because the darkness, that gross darkness that covered the world pretty much. And that darkness represents you people that's in the dark. You don't understand what's going on versus, you know, the brothers and a few sisters out there who was called into this marvelous light. All right. So one of the main attributes of the elect is they're going to depart from the shadows of this world. They're going to flee from this world. And that's not, you know, encouraging that flee doctrine. You know, years back, had these guys, GOCC, would have their congregation to flee, you know, to go to other parts of the world. Look, you can't physically deliver yourself, man. So to depart and to flee from the shadows of this world is dealing with mentally, man, because there's nothing externally you can do, all right? In the flesh, you're going to have certain shortcomings, man. The flesh was designed to go off. And furthermore, this current system under the so-called white man was geared to please the flesh. So it's the inward man, it's the mind, it's the mentality that you got to polish up. It's your mind that has to depart and flee from the shadows of this world. All right. So again, 2 Ezra 2:39, which are departed from the shadow of the world and have received glorious garments of the Lord. Yeah, and that symbolizes this knowledge, which that's going to actually spill over to the new bodies. Those glorious garments is going to pretty much morph into the new bodies. Right now, it's this knowledge. You see, which that's another point. You're not going to take these bodies with you. The only thing that's going to leave this place physically is the inward man, the spirit, your mind. All right? Then you're going to be changed in the twinkling of an eye, meaning you're going to receive glorious garments. You're going to receive new bodies, bodies that you'll never go off again. You see? But the point is, in order for you to stand in that day, your mind got to be right, man. All right? Reading on verse 40, take thy number, O Zion, and shut up those of thine that are clothed in white, which have fulfilled the law of the Lord. Verse 41, the number of thy children whom thou longest for is fulfilled. Beseech the power of the Lord, that thy people which have been called from the beginning may be hallowed. Yeah, and this links up with Ephesians, the 1st chapter. All right? Because this thing is all about predestination. Those amongst the elect was predestined to stand in the times to come. This is going to be the ultimate sifting, you know. This is going to be the determining factor for the men who is numbered amongst the elect, the times that we coming into. Because again, you know, you can go out and teach, you know, you throw on a garment. And that's the thing, man. You can't get caught up with just going with the motions. You know, there's nothing wrong with you know, you coming up on the comment board, you know, throwing around Hebrew lingo, shalom, all right? And mainly going out teaching. But you don't want to be just going with the motions, man, being in some robotic spirit, all right? Just throwing a garment, go out Saturday, put up videos during the week. But in the meantime, you're not polishing up your mind. You're not fortifying your mind and mentally preparing for the things to come. Because you could do all the things I mentioned, do videos, all right? You could be brotherly, which all those things is a plus. But that's going to benefit you if you're not getting your mind right, man. Scriptures tell you to work out your own salvation. There's going to be times that's approaching where you're not going to have the luxury of counseling with a brother. When all hell break loose, man. And for the listeners out there, you're not going to have access, to go up on the comment board. All right? So it's your mind. You have to get your mind right, because if mentally you're not prepared, then guess what? You're going to fall apart, man, when all hell break loose. All right? So it's important to work out your own salvation, and that starts with your mindset. You have to be prepared for what's about to happen, man. All hell is about to break loose out here in America. Matter of fact, let me get this real quick in the book of Romans, the 12th chapter, in the 2nd verse. It says, "And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind." See, of your mind. Again, there's nothing you can do externally to profit you in the times to come. You can work out, you can be on a healthy diet. But if your mind ain't right, you're going to fall apart. Scriptures tell you how there's going to be mighty men that's going to be bitterly weeping, man, for the things that's going to befall the planet Earth. All right? The only ones of you that's going to stand in that day will be the ones who Yahweh Shah put the spirit on you to renew your mind, to have your mind right. All right? To polish up that inward man. Matter of fact, I'm going to go back to this, but let me get some real quick. The book of Psalms, 7th chapter and the 10th verse, it says, "My defense is of the Most High." Yeah, so pretty much in that day is going to be Yahweh Shah to defend us and ward off anything that could be harmful to the elect. The elect is going to be preserved through everything that's going to happen. And that defense is going to be of Yahweh Shah, all right? It says, "My defense is of Yahweh Shah, which saveth the upright in heart." See, which saveth the upright in heart. Now that word heart goes back to the Hebrew word law, which means your mind. See, it's not dealing with that fleshly muscle in your chest. That's dealing with your mind, the inward man. See, so that's why the scriptures say, "My defenses of the Most High, which saveth the upright in heart," or the upright in mind. See, so that's the mind state brothers got to be in. You got to really have a serious approach. You got to understand, look, you got to prepare your mind. Things is about to get rough out here, man. You about to be taken out of your comfort zone. Things is about to get uncomfortable, man. And unless you mentally prepare for that, all the works you might have did is not going to profit you. And the Elder Yashawamba was actually touching on that, man. All right? How is that going to profit you if your mind is not right? See? So it's important for brothers to get the inward man polished up and ready for the times that we coming into, man. And Yahweh Shah is showing mercy, because that vibration went out and it definitely affected me, man. That's why I encourage brothers. I highly recommend brothers to watch that video, because that's the Lord pretty much giving you a pep talk, getting you ready for the times we coming in. And I remember one of the brothers in the camp, one of the younger brothers in the camp, he made a great point, man. He said, "This is just the preseason, man." And that's correct. That's spot on, man. This is the preseason. The real game time about to start. All right? So back in Romans 12:2, it says, "And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind." See, not of the flesh, not externally. Here it is, you working out, you in the gym every day. But if you're not working your mind out, strengthening and fortifying your mind, then what's that going to benefit you, man? This is the ultimate mental game we about to come into, man. All right? That's why the scriptures say men's hearts fell in them for the things that's coming to the planet Earth. A lot of guys gonna bug out. See? It said, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good, that acceptable, and perfect will of the Most High. All right? 2nd Ezra chapter 14 and verse 14, it says, let go from thee mortal thoughts. Right, you got to have an immortal spirit. All right, to be mortal is to be carnal. And again, there's guys in the truth, man, whether you're listeners, you know, or whether you brothers that's actually performing the services of Yahweh and Yahweh Shah, you still attached to this world. You have mortal thoughts. Now, don't get me wrong. We all go through that. You know, you worry, you know, certain bills, you know, not the luxuries so much, but, you know, the necessities, man. You know, we need water and heat, lights. and again, being in this flesh, which this world was set up to please, and it was geared towards the flesh. Yeah, you're in the flesh, you're going to have mortal thoughts at times. But we coming into time, you got to just let that go, man. You really just got to let everything go, all right? Again, it says, let go from these mortal thoughts. Cast away the burdens of man. Put off now the weak nature. Yeah, because if your mind is not right, what makes you weak? When you have mortal thoughts, when you hold fast to the burdens of man. You know, I'm going to pay my car note. I'm going to pay my rent. Man, you're going to fall apart if you in that mind state, in that day of the Lord, man. All right? That's why the Lord said it's weak nature to have those thoughts. Again, let go from the mortal thoughts, cast away the burdens of man, put off now the weak nature. Verse 15, and set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste thee to flee from these times. See? And haste thee to flee from these times. And we open up with the scripture of the main characteristics of the elect. They pretty much is gonna, let's get it one more time. 2nd Ezra 2, and starting at 38. Scripture say, haste to flee from these times. Okay? It says, rise up and stand. Behold, the number of those that be sealed in the feast of the Lord, those who are counted worthy to see the Lord's salvation and escape the times that we are coming into. Verse 39, which are departed from the shadow of the world. That's why the scriptures say, haste to flee from these times, from this current present world, which is temporal, man. You got to flee from that. And again, that's not talking about physically jumping on an airplane, man, going to Dubai. Well, guess what? The world, the entire world is going to be affected by the chip. See? So what it means to defeat from, to depart and to flee from the shadow of this world, that's dealing with your mind. There's a saying with a lot of guys who go to prison or they do a bid, they say you can lock my body, but you can't lock my mind. Well, that could be applied to this truth, man. Your mind has to be fortified and strong in the times that we coming into. So if you're not preparing mentally for that, then whatever else you did, whatever contribution you made, what's that going to profit you? It's not going to benefit you because you yourself is going to fall apart, man. All right? Remember Lot's wife. She looked back because she had some attachment to the world and it cost her life. All right? It says, which are departed from the shadow of the world and have received glorious garments of the Lord. Yeah, so I just wanted to go into that. All right? We are in the time where you got to polish up the inward, man. Your mind, your mentality has to be prepared for the times we're going into. If not, then you gonna fall away from off of this path, man. You know, it don't stop, man. We're gonna continue to be tested. Again, through much tribulation, we shall enter to the kingdom. All right? So this is the time to be preparing yourself and getting your mind right. All right? The inner man. So with that, shalom.